Hey guys, Brian here from DrinkABeerandPlayAGame. Today I'm going to be reviewing the top 5 NES fighting games. Why only 5 fighting games? It's simple. The NES only offered us 5 titles. In the future we will be doing top 10 best and worst videos from every other system. It's unfortunate, but we only get 5 games from the NES. So let's take a look at these games. Starting us off at number 5 is Best of the Best Championship Karate. Unfortunately, this game had to be put on the list. Otherwise, trust me, this will never make a list for best of or top 10 or top 5. For a game released in 1992, it's just pure shit. If you read our reviews or you watched the video review we did of this game, then you should have a better understanding of why this game sucks. But to recap, the controls are god-awful, the gameplay is confusing and just very stiff. The graphics and sound are a perfect example of what not to do in a video game, and just overall, it was terrible. Whatever you do, don't buy this game and don't play it. Coming in at number 4, we have Karate Champ, which was released in 1986 by Data East. The NES port of this wildly popular arcade title really helped shed light onto the player versus player fighting genre. In playing this game, you'll notice that the sound is pretty average for a 1986 NES title. The graphics aren't bad, but realistically there are issues with blending at times, and the 2 fighters that you can be are really just palette swaps of one another. The control in this game, which is slightly stiff, leaves a lot to be desired. What you're watching right now would be the most frustrating part of the gameplay. When you go to hit your opponent, the hit detection does not always work. It's very random at best, and like we said in our game review, sometimes you'd be better off just flipping a coin. This game offered some originality. They had the post-match bonus stage, which included breaking the vases. Your characters do have a large variety of moves which they can utilize in order to defeat your opponent. So overall, this game is below average, but it has its charm. Coming in at number 3, we have Urban Champion, released in 1984, which would actually make it the first NES fighting game. And boy, does it show. As you can see from the gameplay, there's not much to it. You either have a high punch or a low punch. But still, Jim and I, we actually didn't mind this game too much. I mean, there is some interesting gameplay mechanics of your stamina meter going down. When you throw a harder punch, you lose more stamina. You have environmental damages as some asshole tries to throw a pot at you from the windows. And the ultimate goal is to knock your buddy down a manhole. There's nothing more satisfying or more frustrating when you're that close to the manhole and one more punch and you fall in. Not bad. Damn, already up to number 2. And we have a weird one for you. It's called Yie Ar Kung-Fu, released in 1985 by Konami. Now, most of you probably never even heard of this game. And to be honest, we had to do some searching around until we finally found this. And it's a neat little game. You have some colorful sprites, 5 different bosses you have to fight, all of whom have different fighting styles. But let me just mention, Chen is an asshole. That range with that chain will get you killed over and over. I really hate him. But there's also a little bonus stage in which you have to kick and punch knives and discs, or fans, whatever it may be. The game was still fairly original for being out this early. But where it really falls down is replayability. Instead of having an ending movie or difficulties, once you beat the boss Mew, the game starts to recycle. Now, I don't know how far this recycling goes, but basically your opponents get faster, a little bit harder to kill, and you have a different background which becomes just a palette swap of the original. It's not a bad game, and if you can find it, definitely try it out. And finally, at number 1, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, released in 1993 by Konami. This would actually be Konami's last game for the NES, and man did they go out with a bang. Me and Jim were both pleasantly surprised when we popped this in and started playing. Not only do you get to choose from a variety of characters and different levels, but you also get a kick-ass soundtrack, which Konami is known for, some awesome looking sprites. The background might not be as well, but still, the gameplay in this is very tight. The controls very responsive, and to be honest, they're better than some Super NES and Sega controls. In addition to player versus player, you also get a story mode, which does have alternate endings. You get a tournament mode, you get player versus computer, and you can actually just watch two computers fight each other. The other interesting thing is this little glowing orb you can pick up, which, when you shoot it, it's basically a fireball or Hadouken, whatever you want to call it. It's an interesting mechanic that I haven't seen another game emulate since. Overall, this game was great. Whether you're a turtle fan or a fighting game fan, this is a must-have for the NES. I highly advise you check it out. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to check out our YouTube channel and our website at DrinkABeerandPlayAGame.com.